So welcome everyone to the weekly week coaching calls with me, Amir Khan. Today I am delighted because we have a veteran amongst ourselves, a veteran of SlowFlips. I was looking at Duwayne's uh, uh, profile, and he joined on, get ready, October 3rd, 2022. All right. So in the timeline of Slow Flips, that's definitely a veteran, right? I joined in 2023 late, and then a whole bunch of people joined in 2024. This I know the community has been around for a while, but it started a big growth quite recently. So welcome, Dwayne. Unmute yourself.
Yes, hi, Amir. Thank you for having me. Thank you,
And
Flip family, for having me. Happy everybody's
absolutely
looking good.
delighted. Absolutely delighted that you agreed to do this. I know you're a busy man. And so one more time, Major, if you don't mind, Major assists me all the time. I'm really glad he does that. Is that please let everybody know everybody needs to mute their mics. I can't manually do all of them. So if you please keep your mics muted. So, the format, I don't know if you've seen any one of these calls. The way we do this is I ask you some questions. Once I'm done, then we'll open up to the audience and they can ask questions. And you can actually raise your hand as early as now, as soon as you want to. And the way you raise your hand is click on share. And is it within share or is it within React? Is that correct? Yeah, so if you clicked on React at the bottom in Zoom, you'll see several options, and one of the options is raise hand. So you can raise your hand, and I'll just go by whoever the first person is. All right, doing. So first question was, when did you join the Freedom Accelerator program? I already mentioned that you joined sometimes in 2022. Uh, Tell us about your real estate experience before you joined the Freedom Accelerator program.
Yes, and I believe I joined 2022, but I think I went to a Scott meeting, I believe 2019. So I didn't join right away. I believe I came to see him in Virginia because I wanted to see him face to face, see how he is, and he's definitely the real deal. And
Mhm.
so I didn't join right away. I waited a year or so. One because I wanted to build up some more business credit, some more credit to so while obviously when I do my mentorship, I want to build it on my personal credit. So I use the business credit to get my mentorship with Scott. And it's the best thing I ever done. From all the experience I have in real estate, mentorship is the only way to go because you can make so many mistakes when you just have the guidance right there in front of you if you just use the tools you have, money, and just get the experience that way because you can dodge a lot of holes, a lot of pits. So I definitely recommend having some type of mentorship. It doesn't have to be, if it's not Scott, is other people doing it, really doing it, and getting being around like-minded people and not being the smartest person in the room.
So,
That's the best thing.
before you did the mentorship program with Scott, did you have any real estate experience?
Yes, I did. I had some real estate experience. So I got my experience from, like I said, not having any real mentorship, like paid for. It was more likely other people that was doing it, and I will call it sweat equity. So I had to
Mm.
work. I had to be like the driver. I had to be the go guy. Do this, do that. So basically, my mentorship back then was just whatever you needed me to do, I will do. Like drive you around, uh, talk to the contractors, manage the projects, whatever I can do without because I didn't have any money back then. 2000, I started doing real estate in 2002, 2003. What put me on the real estate was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read the book. I didn't fully understand it though. I just read the book and like, this sounds good. This sounds good.
Yeah.
I didn't grasp the whole concept because back then, I mean, what he talks about in that book he did talk about cash flow and getting, assets, but I only looked at it as how to make some money right now. So
Hmm.
back then it was just all, when I first was getting into it, it was just basically doing wholesaling, um, managing projects and basically just trying to make that fast buck. And I did. I made some quick money. And once I got that first taste, I didn't want to stop. So, I made some money and that money went quick. You know how it go
Right.
already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You go
absolutely.
fast. So I felt like I was on another hamster wheel, just always
Mm.
trying to find that next deal, that next thing. So, um, I took a break from real estate after that for a little bit. Had my first son, and then because money wasn't consistent. That's the thing with wholesaling. You get a good taste, or you get a good little something, but everybody got their hand out. And as soon as you make that money, you gotta pay this person, that person, bills, life. So I was young too, so I wanted to have fun. So and the money went quick. So I took a break, got a real job, 9 to 5, took care of the family. And I said, you know what? When I do it again, because at that point, when I was doing real estate in 2003, 2004, I was working with a mentor that was flipping apartment buildings. So
Mm.
I was learning that concept. And in DC back then, I don't know if you guys are in that area, but condo conversion was a big thing when that first started exploding. So I was a part of a couple of projects with that, and I thought that we're going to make it big. But then the market went another twist, 2007, 2008, and everybody kind of went away a little bit. But I wish I knew about the slow flip method back then because the houses, the prices were like it was
Uh,
right there for the picking, and especially in this area where you have to have a niche in this area now where you can find them. But back then there were just houses was there. I mean, especially Baltimore. I mean, it was easy to get anything for under 20. And in DC, you can get anything under 100 back then. So it's just crazy now where houses in DC are a million and up. And these are small houses. So but yeah, so most of my experience really is just wholesaling, managing a couple projects, contractors dealing with contractors, and I don't recommend it. For me, I'd rather just do the minimal as possible, but make a bigger return. So,
yeah,
I think this slow flip is the best way. I mean, there's no other way you're going to make so much interest on your money, so much return on your money, but just basically setting it all up, getting the property, placing someone in the property, and just sending it back and collecting the money. Yeah, you still have to work, but it's not like you have to work in a way of like, oh my God, I gotta go find another deal. I gotta sell that deal. I gotta do it again and again and again
yeah,
and again.
yeah,
It never stops.
yeah.
So
Very good.
as I said back, I'm a guy now and I wanna freedom is my thing. Of course, we all here for freedom. I wanna go on vacation. I wanna sit back, keep my feet up on the beach and relax.
Perfect. All
Mm.
right, so let's go back. Let's talk about for everybody's context. Where are you based?
So I'm based in Maryland, right outside of Baltimore and DC. So about 40 minutes from Baltimore, like almost an hour, and DC about 40 minutes. So I'm like
Got it.
right in the middle, right smack in the middle of Maryland,
Got it.
and so I'm close to all the major metros. But no one knows too much. Maryland has a lot of surrounding areas. It's still country
Mm.
because Maryland is it's still a country state in a way because there's a lot of land here still. But a lot of surrounding areas are still like it's still up for the picking. I mean, it's getting more. More builders are coming in, more people are coming in because we're right behind the capital of the United States.
Mm.
So this is where all the funding comes in, and a lot of contractors, a lot of money is being made here. So more people are pouring in. So as we speak now, the places that used to be not too congested is getting more congested. So people are moving further out
Right.
just to make it.
Right.
So
Okay.
Maryland still has some things you can still do. Plus, you can always wholesale here because
Yeah.
there's always deals.
Great. So let's talk about your first slow flip. When did you, when you joined,
Yeah,
how long did it take you to buy your first slow flip?
I would say Let me see. I would say almost I would say almost 6 months.
Oh yeah,
But I could have bought it right away. But I recommend that you learn the game a little bit more. You kind of you don't want to be in a way where you're not going to pull the trigger, but understand, look at a lot of houses because Scott and Joey and the team already kind of lay out the type of houses you can get. So you gotta look at it like this: if these guys are selling these houses in these conditions, um, and they're getting down payments, it must be working. It has to be working. So I think it's just the matter of like seeing it over and over again and getting a feel for it. Like, okay, sometimes you got to put yourself maybe in the tenant shoes. If I was in a situation where I need to get something, and I couldn't get it the bank way, let me get it this way because they want to build as well. Second chance, third chance, you know, you gotta put yourself in their position. And okay, if I was to see a house and it looks somewhat livable, can I do it myself, fix it up? Do I have family members to help me fix it up? So you have to put yourself in the tenant shoes too. And then you walk through your area and you. So what I'm trying to say is, don't walk through the houses like or look through the pictures like an investor. Look at it as well as an investor, but look at it through a tenant eyes. If you were that tenant, would you buy this?
good point.
You
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't have any other avenue to go, but this is a way you can step up, buy this house, fix it up, stay in there for a year, then sell that one or rent it, buy another one, then buy another one. That's why I always kind of educate my tenants on like, hey, this could be your first one, then you can move on to the next. And you can build your, helping, I help me, you help you, we all win.
Right, right. So let's talk about that first slow flip. Do you still remember it? Do you remember
Yeah,
the
I think I have.
challenges you had? If you want to share something, we would
Yeah.
love to know about
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So the first one was in Baltimore, um, and I partnered with my with Juan. He's a contractor in Maryland, so he's real good. So I also recommend that you have some type of boots on the ground. It's a contractor that sees the property too, because they can give you a good idea on in their mind frame how much it's going to take to fix the house, and usually they count it in a way of like materials, not labor. So if they were to get that house, they're not counting their labor costs. So if they say, hey, Duwayne, this might take like 20, $30,000 to fix, really you can cut that in half and say that maybe it's 15,000 because they're not counting the labor, they're just counting materials. So if you have the contractor go through there and not just take pictures and everything, but it's better to have them because they give you a better, deeper eye on, okay, this is a garbage house, or this is a trash, or this is a
Mm.
good house. It has good foundation. This house has good bones, and those
Mm.
and those are the ones you want because those are the ones um that can make a lot of money.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, so this first deal, tell us about it, the numbers, if
So
you remember.
So yeah, this first one, let me see. This is one in Baltimore. This was, I would say, it was a good, really good one. So we didn't do it the conventional slow flip way to buy it, but we sold on the slow flip way. So I bought it through marketing. A seller called me, and basically said, "Hey, what would you offer me on this house?" We went out there, we talked to him, and we said, "Hey, look, what you want is basically at the price where the house is cost right now,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Because it's not fixed up. Let's do this. And this is another good tip, guys. Let me take over. Let me you own the house free and clear. Let me you become basically the bank. I will pay you. Let's do a 5-year term or a 10-year term, whatever we worked out. And I set a price. Okay, I'll pay you 130 with zero interest. So when he didn't ask, or he didn't say anything about any kind of interest. So I just said, look, I'll pay you for I believe this one was like a 5-year lease, a 5-year term. Um, it was a balloon. Okay, you can't have it perfect every time, but um, what I think, when someone is getting paid over and over again, it builds more trust. So in the beginning, maybe they're like kind of nervous, like, hey, this will these guys work out? So sometimes you gotta take a little a deal and be creative in a way of like let them get comfortable. Let's do the 5 year. I wanted to do 10 year because Scott teaches 10 year.
Yeah. Hmm.
Pay it off. Boom, boom, boom. I said no. Let's do 5 year balloon, and let's circle back in the 5 year and renegotiate. Either we go longer, or I'll just refinance them out, or I'll get another private lender to pay them off.
Right.
We'll make the deal work. So we bought it, started finance. I'm paying him 800, and I found the buyer, and they're paying me 1,500. So I'm
Wow.
in that difference, and I paid the taxes and insurance, and I'm still clearing almost $500.
Now,
Or
sorry, I just want to make sure. So, what were your terms? Did he transfer the deed in your name,
yes,
or
yeah. So we
he
bought
did?
it
Okay,
straight
okay.
out.
So
We
that,
bought it straight out. Yeah, and I don't do any kind of
yeah, because that puts
no,
you, like Scott says, don't do that, right?
no, no,
Where
no.
he's holding
Yeah,
the deed, because then he controls the pro. Okay, this is excellent. I mean, you're
yeah,
making what, $800,
yeah.
pretty much net.
Yeah, and this was like almost a no, this was basically no money down. So how I did was I bought it at 130 and I sold it to someone else for 165. And what I did was I told him to give me the whole, well, I told him 15,000 down. So that 15,000 paid for all the closing costs. I didn't
Okay.
have to come out of no anything on my pocket. The seller even paid a little bit of his side of the closing. So I end up me and my partner end up walking away with $7,000 in the deal.
That's excellent.
So
Duane,
no money out of pocket.
no, that's an excellent deal.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. But I also want to let you know, Duane, you're talking, I'm understanding pretty much everything that you're saying, right?
yeah,
But please also understand that there are lots of people on this call who have a lot
yeah.
less experience.
Uh-huh.
And so when you talk about this, you talk about it because it's easy, right? I mean,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
for them, or they're not even following. Some of them may not be following. So let's try to uh, uh, talk about your other deals, but also
Right.
for reference, because it is interesting to know what your markets are, because I see some questions are also going to come in. Tell us
Hmm.
about your market. So, because I don't think that many people are investing in Baltimore. You're probably one of the only one that I know
Yeah,
of.
yeah. I think we have one or two more people, and yeah, well, maybe three that I know of. But Baltimore is it's a whole nother whole nother animal. Let's just say that it's a whole nother state. You got to kind of really know. It's almost like a St. Louis. You got to kind of know, feel.
Uh,
It goes
so
by
there's
block. Yeah,
pockets. This is
yeah, it's by
good
pocket.
areas.
Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
block by block. Um, but the good thing about Baltimore is it's the I would say the last city on the East Coast that's like a DC, that's like a mini New York. It's the
Mm,
you got that city feel. You can go there. It's almost like I don't know if if you stay downtown, you can go close to the water and have dinner. There's restaurants, walking distance. Everything is like the city feel. So Baltimore, I think, is the one of the last places for younger people coming up that is graduating from college. They're getting a good job. They can't afford DC, so they're eventually really going to migrate to Baltimore. It
right.
may take some time because of, Baltimore still has their issues, but it's going to come. It has to come. There's no more space for it. They're not going to build another city. So this is what you got.
So, because I mean, this is something new for me also. So, tell us about the Baltimore market for people with the same formula. Because,
Yeah.
am I correct me? Are there properties in this price range, 30 grand in Baltimore?
Yes, they have them. They have them.
Oh, wow.
They
Okay.
have them. It's just you gotta have someone that's if you're not in the area, you gotta have someone that really knows the area because you can really get like I mean, you can get stuff that's crap. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
it may be in that price range, but there's no way that you're going to get your end buyer to sell it on the back end where they can pay for it 65, 80,000 because you're buying a crappy house that's not really worth anything. It's under the 30, but it's probably worth nothing. You like Scott says sometimes you're buying tax. You're just going to be
So,
paying tax on it.
how is the state? Are they landlord friendly, not landlord
Well,
friendly, neutral?
Baltimore is tenant friendly. They are.
So that is a big
Yeah.
question
So
mark there, right?
yeah, but
So,
that's why. But this is why I only sell to mostly investors
oh, got
because
it.
they're more, they're going to be more on the landlord side. They're going to be more on the investor side. So, and you can charge a higher interest, and they already kind of know they deal with those tenants in the court, systems and all that stuff.
Right.
But it's workable. Baltimore's workable. You just got to have someone that's kind of familiar with the area and work with someone that knows the area. It works though, because when we my marketing team, we know what to look for.
What other areas are you in?
So just Maryland, Baltimore, like Scott says, Maryland is expensive, right? It's just like, I
Mm.
don't know what area you're from, but the houses are averaging right now in Maryland 400,000 and up, right?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
everything we're close to the capital, so everything is just on the rise. But Maryland also has pockets that's outside of the metropolitan area. So
Mm.
you can still find, if you look close, you can still find those 30, $50,000 houses. They're just more further out, but you just gotta know how to, you just gotta know where to look and know how to negotiate.
Got it. So for our reference, if I may ask, how many slow flips do you have?
Right now I have 7 SlowFlips, and
So,
and with those 7 SlowFlips, 6 of them I am bringing in almost over 10,000 gross.
wow,
Meaning because I
the
have some
numbers are different, right?
Yeah, numbers are different because I have some subject twos with it as well. So those are the higher dollar houses. That's why I said it can work. You can buy it, you can buy it different, but you can still sell it on a slow flip. You become the bank, as the middleman. You
Yeah.
understand? So you're just being creative. But they do, like I said, but it's better at the end of the day. I mean, it's better to buy the smaller dollar ones as much as you can, because
Mm.
if you have, let's say you have 12, $30,000 houses, and let's say 5 or 6 tenants are not paying, at
Yeah.
least you're still getting some money from the other tenants. You understand? So,
Right.
but my higher dollar ones, I gotta put someone in there that's going to really pay. Like I can't just have anybody in there. Like
Yeah.
those are the ones I kind of really like. I kind of qualify a little more.
Right. Right. No,
And
I
so,
understand
yeah, yeah.
perfectly. All right. I just have a few more questions, but like I said, guys, if you have questions, go ahead and click on React and raise your hand. And when it's your turn, I'll go ahead and call you.
Mm,
All right. So, Duwayne, what is important in these calls are like what you just said. I think one of the first thing that you mentioned is probably the most important thing
mm,
was that even with your experience, you waited 6 months
yeah,
before you pulled the trigger.
yeah,
Talk more about that. So, people who are listening to this, and you probably read the comments uh,
yeah,
on the forum where people are talking about this, a new shiny object, or they're talking about just, somebody's talking who's outside our ecosystem.
yeah,
And it's a matter of, in my opinion, a matter of focus, right?
yeah.
If you keep getting distracted, you're going to go further and further out, and you just confuse yourself.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
tell us, in those 6 months, what were you doing that helped you, even with your experience? What is that you were doing that really, really helped you prepare yourself to start your slow flip journey?
Well, working on getting the money. Get the money, and a lot of the the nervousness, the oh my God, what do I do now if I get a contract accepted? A lot of those worries kind of fade a little bit. So I would say both really. Work 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 on work on getting the money, and work on finding the deal, a real deal, not just a I mean, you can look on the MLS, you can talk with wholesalers, you can do all these things, but most times those deals are not really deals. But if you find a real deal, the money will come too. So it's just all about doing both. So some is private and some is self-funded through business credit. Um, I would say, put yourself in a position, if you are, don't quit your job, don't quit your day job. You
Hmm.
know, put yourself in a position where you're able to get business credit. You're able to not not make your LTV too high because now the banks can't see that your business credit is doing other things. And I think this is the best way to use business credit is through SlowFlips. But be conservative, whatever down payment you get, pay that business credit back as quick as you can, make extra payments, whatever you need to do. Um, I think it's find the deal as you look for deals. Talk to everybody. I think I'm still working on it. It's a numbers game. Like, some people will say if you ask someone like, hey, have you talked to I mean, how many people you talked to so far about, private money? And most time, if you really ask them, they're gonna say, maybe one or two people. But if you
Mm,
make yourself like give yourself a challenge, like, you know what, for the next week or two, I'm gonna talk to 50 people. You know,
hmm.
and just even if and it's okay. You may get 50 no's. You want the no's. You know why? Because it's going to build your rejection level up. Like, okay, no, 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 no. But guess what? When you have a deal at the same time and you talk to someone else, now when someone sees a deal at the same time and you're telling them, hey, this is the money we need and this is the deal, you're making this much, they're gonna look at you different because now they say, I don't really care what you got going on. I want that deal. You understand?
Yeah.
So I think it's really just talking, 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 and getting and this and you want the no's. Hey, tell me no, because guess what? I'm giving you an opportunity. So if
Right.
you know someone is eventually going to say yes, and they're going to get the opportunity there, and they're going to get the money. So that's what it's all about. I mean, find the deal, um, also looking for the money, and also putting yourself in a position to win, meaning like just keep putting yourself in position. Networking, I think that's the most major thing you could do is go to your RIAs, your local RIAs, go to your local investors, your meetups, talk to agents, talk to wholesalers. Just let them know you're looking for deals, and eventually they're going to start seeing like, hey, um, this guy, it looks like he's a real buyer. But then when you pull that trigger, you
Mm,
say, I'm going to buy this house, stick to your word and buy the house. I mean, if everything pans out, you did all your inspection and everything goes the way it should go, just stick to your word. Once you buy one, stick to your word. So now the other players know that, hey, this guy is really in the game now. Because I think what happens, Amir, is we get like, okay, I'm gonna find the house. I'm gonna do this one, two, three, four, five. I'm gonna do everything. No, no, you don't need to do everything. Just if you feel it and it's a deal that looks right, just pull the trigger because you're gonna learn as you go.
yeah.
That's the only Scott, our mentors, everybody, they can show you, hey, do this, do this, do this. But until you pull the trigger and you do it yourself, you're not gonna really know how really the whole flow is. So we can us, Amir, me, other veterans in our group, we can tell you all day, but until you do it, you're not gonna understand it fully. You understand?
Yeah. Very good. Excellent. All right. So let's go ahead with the questions from our audience. So first question is Quinn. Did I say your name right? You can unmute yourself, please.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So my first question is, I mean, I'm ready to buy, but my only problem is obviously every area has a rules and regulations that I need to do research on. So how I obviously you stuck around the area that you were close to because it was doable. For my specific area, it might not be because the price value is too high. But then again, I'm using, other fellow veterans that have killed it in Illinois, killed it in, certain other places. How did you determine why you picked that area? I mean, how do you determine what area you want to invest in since your particular area is not doable?
Yeah, it's what I would say it is you have to, and this is why you take time and you
Mm-hmm.
talk with all the players in your market, right?
Correct.
Take time to talk, meet up with people and see what they're working on, see what they're doing. And you also look at your market, see what last sold, like for the last 6 months, the last year, what has sold, what's the lowest price point. Go to start from, I don't know, usually, I don't know if you can start from Zillow 30 to the 200s or the 400s. We'll start at the lowest prices first, just to see if there's anything at all in your area, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you go further out, I don't know what area you're in. What area
Well, I'm in Florida, but like
okay.
Sarasota,
Yeah, so
then this
Florida has,
area.
so Upper Florida or Jacksonville, these areas have them. They have these
Yes,
price
they
levels,
do.
right?
They do.
The only thing is you want to you want to understand like, okay, Florida is going through certain things of insurances and stuff like
Correct.
that,
Correct.
right? So
Yes.
you just gotta weigh your risk, like what level risk you want to take. So, the first thing is look at see is there any price point in your area. I will always say start with your area first, and then if there's nothing there, of course, go on to the next markets,
Correct.
right?
So that's what I'm
Pick one,
doing.
but pick one market and stay and concentrate on that one market.
Yes.
Don't go
Correct.
to Illinois, then
Yeah,
go
I'm
to
not jumping
Chicago.
around. I
Yeah.
understand that concept. So I am just trying to fill out. I guess this question is for you, Omar, because I was told I was looking in Ohio, Toledo, which I am kind of looking in because the growth factor is there based on, this some research that I've done. All speculative, obviously. I mean, just like any market, you don't really know for sure. But I wanted to ask you, do you invest in there, Amar?
Yes. Yeah, I have
Okay,
properties
so
in Toledo.
that's probably what I need to do to talk to somebody to find out the rules and regulations in terms of what is required in that specific area. So
Well,
that's what my project is this whole coming week is to find out which area do I want to invest in? What are the rules like? What kind of, things that I need to know in terms of like, evictions or whatever it is.
Mhm.
so let me throw this in for you. This is interesting. So when I went into Toledo or when I go into any other market, I'll
Mm-hmm.
be honest with you, the only thing that I look for is who else is investing there,
Mm-hmm.
what is their experience, and I go for it as long as I find boots on the ground. Because you know why? I will never know everything about that market,
No, and I don't
right?
expect that, but I guess I want to know if there's a team already built in that area because I don't
And
see
that's what
too
I'm
many.
saying. If
Yeah, there's
somebody's
not too
already,
many people there that I've noticed on the school that invest there. There are a few, I guess, maybe a handful. I
Hmm.
assume because I only see very infrequently, on the postings. Most of the posting I see is Illinois or what is it, Montana or whatever the heck that is, or uh,
Yeah, India, I think
MO.
it's
Yeah,
Indiana,
yeah,
Indiana,
Indiana and a couple of
mhm,
other ones. But I
mhm.
guess I wanted to see what other area a lot of the schools are in, other than those two that I see the most of.
Yeah, so like I said, if you go on the forum, you can actually ask this question on school. I'm looking at these markets, or I'm wondering where you can do a poll. You can do a poll there, just saying where do you all invest in, and then people will just click and tell you, I'm in Illinois, I'm in this market, I'm in Cahokia. I can tell you 4 or 5 markets I'm in. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
Toledo. I'm in Cahokia. I have properties in Decatur. I have properties in Springfield. This is where, but I don't have a single property in St. Louis, Missouri. I just haven't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just haven't found anything. So I also have the same thing. I will never know everything about the market. So as
yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
experiencing, I'm learning and I'm correcting my documents as I go along. And that's why I'm also going slow rather than fast, because if you have 20, 30 properties and you went so fast and you didn't learn anything, well, guess what? It'll hit all 10 or 20 properties and then you have a problem. And
Correct.
so just what Duwayne said, just do your research in the first couple of months, but decide on one market and then just go in, because you will still never have all the information, but you'll have enough information to say, okay, this is the time to take the first step.
And number one thing too in the market you pick is the rents. Does the rents work for you?
Correct.
Right. That's the
Right. The
biggest.
numbers
That's
work.
That's
the
the
Yes.
biggest
yeah.
one, because if you
Yeah.
can't go into a market and the rents are no money, I mean, you trying to buy at a certain price, but it's not making anything.
Yeah, I
You
got
have
that.
to look for the rents, and is those price ranges in that area, and do you have boots on the ground or some type of boots on the ground? That's it.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Raphael, you're next.
Yeah. Hi, Duwayne.
Hey, how you doing, Raphael?
Good, good. I'm also located in Maryland, and I'm yet to land my first slow flip. So
Okay.
You
Yeah.
made mention of something using a business credit to
Yeah.
buy slow flip. So I
Mhm.
was just gonna ask for someone who don't have a business, can he just set up a makeshift business and then apply for credit and then use the credit to buy slow flip?
Yeah, you don't have to have a business. You can use your name because business is like, hey, you can be doing Uber, you could be doing um any side hustle that can be a business as long as you're making some type of money. It doesn't matter. You can use your name. I recommend getting an LLC. If you get into it all the way. But you can get business credit cards. Um, you can also get a line of business credit. Um, it's just that you want to be careful because you don't want to buy something that is not making any money, and then you're stuck with this credit that you have to pay back. So, just try to look at it in a way of um, it's just temporary money until you find the real money is the private money. So once you find the private money, then that business credit money or your own credit money that you can use that private lender to pay that whole thing off and start back over and you can do it again and again and again.
Yeah, those business credits, their rates are like 25% and almost 30%. When you do all the
Yeah.
expenses, they add up, it gets too much. So
Yeah, and that's what I mean that you still gotta look for the private lenders because business credit is just getting your foot in the door. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend it as your full source because, especially if you have to be someone responsible with credit as well. So you don't want to just put yourself out there and then you get a crappy house. You want your first house to be somewhat where you can make some money. So yeah, you can get the line of credit, but I don't recommend you get like, say, for example, you go and get 100,000 right away, and you're
mm,
still trying to learn this game. I wouldn't
They're
recommend
not
that
going to give it
because
to him.
yeah, I wouldn't recommend that because you're gonna have to pay monthly payments on that 100,000 right away. So you want to basically got a good grasp on what's going on and how you can, how it all works. But I recommend if you say you have a $20,000 credit card or a $30,000 credit card, do one at a time. If
can something like SBA loan be used for that? I know
uh,
most times they don't
you
give real estate business
yeah
loan. Mm.
yeah SBA that's more on the like small business. You can get one, um, but they more on like okay, are you using this to build your business, not really buying real
Yeah, that
estate.
was the idea I had in mind, like, create a business even though it's not getting a lot of fun, designing with a proposal to actually do business,
Yeah,
but then use the
I rec
money to buy real estate, something like that.
Yeah, I recommend don't say anything about real estate because they look at those
Mm,
red flags,
Mhm.
yeah.
so just you use it for building yourself, mentorship, marketing, advertising, looking for like a deal that you can probably, you got to think too. Real estate is is a vehicle that can get you to the next destination. So you can probably, I don't know if you have a house right now, but if you don't, how about you buy a house for yourself? Maybe house hack the bedrooms, the basement,
I
where you
already
get
maxed
some
out
type
what
of.
I have in
You said you're
I
doing
already
it already.
maxed out what I have in my name, so I'm just trying to add sauce right now.
Oh,
I-
okay.
I've
All
used
right,
So
up.
guys, I'm sorry. We are almost out of time. So I would
okay.
like to thank Duwayne. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Thank
Yes.
you, everyone. And we will see you all next week. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.